E dopo Andrea Battista, un altro intervento, sempre in ambito ecosistemi, e anche questa volta parliamo di esperienze che non vengono dall'ambito assicurativo. Parliamo di Roar con Charles, che ha innovato l'industria del marketing relazionale in ambito automotive, retailizzando e creando relazioni forti fra l'headquarter, i dealers distributivi e il cliente finale. Su questo tipo di esperienza, dal nostro punto di vista, l'industria assicurativa può levereggiare. Charles, in italiano o in English?
Meglio inglese.
Meglio in
Meglio
inglese, of
inglese.
course.
Non,
Okay.
non abbiamo bevuto abbastanza, penso, per il italiano.
Vabbè.
Grazie mille per l'invito. Thanks a lot for the invitation. It's better we go, I think, in English. Sorry, it's the end of the day. We stretch our minds a little bit. A famous Italian man told me to only do presentations when I need to make the people laugh. So I don't think we need to laugh now. We need to focus on customer experience. Roar comes from my having worked with customer journey, customer experience for about 35 years now. We started insurance at my previous, thank you. Oh, it's a bad exchange, huh? We started looking at the insurance industry, Soddisfazione delle Assicurazioni 25 anni fa. English. And what we saw is there's a lot of similar touch points to the other industries that we're in. Fast forward to today, we have a complete change, not in the touch points, but in the digitalization of the experience. So what I want to talk about today, just real quickly, obviously, are these touch points and how they've changed. Real quickly about Roar, how many of us have a Fiat Group product in the room? Maserati, Jeep, okay. Please do the surveys when we send them to you, okay? We do the surveys for many of the car manufacturers, including Jeep and Peugeot Citroën, globally. But we also do warranty claims, insurance claims in America for other companies. Always trying to understand how that customer experience is and what risk it's creating in the relationship between the company and the customer. Because Roar, as much as I love Katy Perry and I love the song, Roar is about return on a relationship. How much money can we get from that customer that we've just spent money on acquiring? How much money can we get from that relationship? So this is a simplified formula of what Roar means. But ultimately what it's saying is that we have worked hard to get this customer. How much money can we get from this customer? And through great work, great service, how many referrals can we get from that customer? Our data in automotive says that a referral customer closes at 38%. So in conversion of 38%, which is huge in automotive. I understand from some of the agency people I've spoken with that in insurance, a referral closes at about 75%. So it's huge. That's why we need referrals. And referrals come from us getting customers to trust us. Let's talk about trust steps. Trust starts with what the customer is seeing online. What are they seeing on your reviews? This is from where I live in Rome. This is agencies, and you see a lot of really high scores there, which is great. But then you see there's not a lot of reviews behind some of these scores. And research tells us, Harvard Business Review tells us, customers want to trust the reviews. And for real trust to occur, we need more than 20. 10, more than 20 reviews, we start getting customers to trust what they're seeing. Sto parlando troppo veloce? Siamo a posto? Ok, perfetto. Andiamo avanti. So when we look at the customer journey and the customer seeing the reviews for your agency, for your product, even in the app store, when they're looking at your digital app, the reviews matter. And how do we get good reviews? We have to understand what matters to the customers using your products. Just some examples, right? So too lower scores, too few reviews, these are impacting the customer trust. We need to be looking at every step in the experience. We need to monitor them. We need to understand what are the priorities. we have this idea of the ROAR score. You saw the formula. But each of these steps has a high impact on the ROAR score. Sure, we may get that customer, but if the experience wasn't great, we're not going to get the referrals we need. And again, the referrals are how we maximize that relationship. We've spent to get that customer. How do we leverage the referrals coming from that customer? Next step, conversion, right? We need to get them to do the forms. Now, what I see here is, and I didn't hear it a lot today, okay. Ovviamente mio italiano non è grande, ma non ho sentito, ci sono le differenze. Generationally, when you talk about digitization, it's the younger folks that are leading the digitization. Some of the older folks like me, we get it, but it's the younger folks leading it. And so when we're doing apps and we're doing forms online, we have to think about the different groups of consumers that are using these forms. Me, there better be big words so I can see what actually is happening there. I understand it clearly. Very simple. For the younger folks, they're more astute. They get these things. So we need to be thinking generationally when we're doing these forms or building these forms. How do we do that? Well, we need to be testing. We have to do a lot of testing, and we need to do monitoring. What are our abandon rates? The gente che non comprano e vanno via. This information helps us understand where are the breakpoints in the experience, and we can also look at competitors. I mean, we learn a lot from competitors every day, so we need to be studying them. This is the key point, though, right? You know, S happens, I won't say the bad word, but stuff happens. And when stuff happens, the customer wants to ensure that you're there for them and that it's not difficult, that everything is transparent. You're communicating with them. Speaking again about the generational gap, there seems to be a difference in how the younger folks are accepting of the information coming versus some of the older folks. The older folks still need to get on the telephone. They still need to hear the agent telling them that everything's going to be fine, we're going to take care of it. Some of the younger folks, the younger generations, they're okay with messages on WhatsApp. They're okay with the digital messaging coming into them, digital communication. But again, generationally speaking, we need to understand what are those differences, because they can be big. And again, if we're trying to get those referrals, this is a key referral moment. We either lose trust or we win it and we get the renewals and we get the referrals. I have 1 minute left. Awesome. So what does ROAR do? ROAR takes a look at each step in the funnel, each step in the journey, and we identify what are the risks for the business. And again, we talk about risk rather than opportunity because there's this thing called the endowment effect. An endowment effect means that if we have that business, we don't want to lose it. Loss aversion is a far greater motivator than opportunity. So you've acquired that customer. That customer has this ROAR score in terms of an overall opportunity in the future. What are we going to do to ensure that we get that money? We will look at each step in the journey. We identify your risk, particularly compared to competitors. We identify them. We use AI to prioritize, to reduce all of the variables that we're picking up to those that just really matter and those are really affecting your score. And we give you the prioritization and an action plan driven by AI. So again, you're not wasting your time, you're not wasting your money, you're focusing on the things that are going to drive your ROAR score. In conclusion, I'm going to make it. In conclusion, the ROAR score is an idea, actually it's a formula to help you manage what it is that you have spent money on, that is the cost of acquisition you've paid to get that customer. How is it over time that you're going to ensure that you realize all of that money from the customer, that you've worked hard, taken good care of them, and ensure that you realize all of that money, right? So each of the steps you need to be monitoring on the journey. Each of the steps you need to be monitoring in comparison to your competitors. You are not working in isolation. Your customers have other choices. And again, the younger generation is far more switch savvy than the older folks like me who stay with the same provider forever. The younger folks you got to work harder to keep them. And if we do these things, we manage our risk, we're going to maximize our ROI, right? And again, that's what ROAR is. It's about maximizing the return on a relationship. And you need to be doing this in each step, and you need to be doing this for each product and service that you're providing. From the agency, from the app, everywhere that you're touching a customer, there is risk that needs to be managed to maximize your ROAR score. Thank you very much.